You're Claudia, right? Mitchell's wife?
Sorry, who are you? Do we know each other?
I'm Mitchell's friend, Chelsea. I was at your wedding. Don't you remember me?
Ah, the one who was… what I mean to say is, of course I remember you, Chelsea. How could I possibly forget you? You were the girl that was stuck to my husband like glue for the whole wedding reception. Everyone thought that you were the bride instead of me. It was so embarrassing. You even came in a white dress. You really have no shame.
Anyway, it's so nice to bump into you. We've been hanging out a lot recently, and I keep asking him whether he's going to bring you next time or not.
Excuse me?
I'm so sorry. Did I slip up? Did you not know that we've been hanging out a lot recently? Our group of friends from college are always going for drinks. I'm sorry, I thought you knew.
Oh, don't worry. You didn't slip up or anything. Of course I knew that you guys had been hanging out. My husband is the type of guy to tell me all of his social plans, so there's no way I wouldn't know what he's been up to. Obviously, I gave him permission to go out whenever he likes.
Oh, well, that's a relief then. He must really love you then. He's not normally the type to overshare about his social life, but of course he tells me everything. I would feel a little uncomfortable if he was sharing more with me than with his own wife. That wouldn't look too great in other people's eyes, would it?
Chelsea, you're not very good at reading the room, are you?
Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden?
If your friends are all married already, don't you feel embarrassed trying to stick to them and try and get them to come out with you all the time? It's not very becoming for a woman of your age. I think it's probably in your best interest to grow up a little and be more respectful of your friends' lives. Acting like this will only lead to serious trouble for you.
What did you just say? That's so funny. You sound so old-fashioned. These days, nobody stops seeing their friends when they get married. I can't believe you have such a dated way of thinking.
Well, it doesn't sound like you hold your friends in particularly high regard to me. You obviously don't respect the fact that once they're married, they have a family to worry about that becomes their top priority. Do you think people who are a nuisance like you are truly considered friends by others? It's quite a spectacle to see your expression contorting like that. How dare you try and provoke me like this? I should have tripped her over. I'm sure she can't balance that well in those high heels. What a shameless girl.
Even so, some of my friends actually prioritize their friends over their spouses, you know. If you're going to carry on acting like this, things aren't going to end well for you. You're definitely going to regret saying everything you just said.
I'm sure I won't regret anything. And if you keep spending all your time hanging around with married men, you're never going to be able to get a boyfriend yourself. You should start thinking about getting married yourself, you know. If everyone around you is married already, you're just going to end up feeling lonely and left out.
Why would I feel lonely? I still have Mitchell, don't I?
Oh, so she would dare mention my husband's name, would she? I don't like the casual expression she has on her face either. No way. Could my husband be cheating on me with this girl? And what do you mean by that exactly?
Well, just one word from me can make Mitchell drop everything and come running, even if it's first thing in the morning. When my ex broke up with me, he spent the whole night comforting me.
Oh, really? So?
I'm just saying that's how close we are to each other. Our friendship isn't the kind that can be tossed to the side just because one of us got married. So if you were worried about me, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be. Anyway, it was really nice to see you. You, me, and Mitchell should hang out, all three of us, sometime. Anyway, my friends are waiting for me, so I'd better get going. Bye now.
What a shameless girl. Honey, you and I need to talk. Can it wait until tomorrow? I only just got home from working overtime and I'm feeling really tired right now. I'd rather talk about it now. I saw Chelsea earlier today. Why would you meet up with Chelsea? I didn't. We ran into each other on the street. It was a complete coincidence. I had no idea that you were still hanging around with her. Yeah, we still meet up from time to time when I hang out with my friends from college. Why do you never tell me when you're going to hang out with those friends? Do you have any idea how dumbfounded I was earlier? Well, they usually message me to come out whilst I'm still at work, and I usually just go straight there. So there's never really time to tell you that I'm going. And when we hang out, it's only ever for a couple of drinks, so it's not a big deal. And anyway, do I need to tell you about every single plan I have? I just want to feel a little bit more in the loop. We're married, for goodness sake. Surely you should be able to tell me when you're going out for a few drinks with some old friends. It really isn't a big deal, but you're making it into one by not telling me. How come she knows everything that's going on with you and I don't? Oh, did she say that? It really isn't like that. She probably just said that to you because she likes to always have the upper hand. Honestly, there's nothing for you to worry about with her. Why shouldn't I be worried? If you don't want me to worry, you need to do more to reassure me. I don't want you to hang out with that girl anymore. What? You can't just tell me to cut off someone I've been friends with for such a long time. And anyway, it's not like I ever meet her one-on-one or anything like that. I always meet her in a big group of friends from my college days. Are you sure about that? If I were to ask the people walking past the two of you on the street, would they think you were just friends? Can you promise me that the two of you are really just friends? What are you implying? Well, it's obvious that she sees you as more than just a friend, so I just thought I would ask. If she's not just a friend, then what would she be? What on earth kind of crazy conclusions have you gone and jumped to? Well, she's the kind of girl that goes around bragging about her friendship with married men, so I don't trust her one bit. Do you really think that someone with a personality like that is normal? What's gotten into you today? She really isn't as bad as she seems. She's a little immature, so she doesn't come across too well, but she honestly isn't a bad person. Who are you to jump to conclusions about someone you barely know based on one conversation? Do you know what she said to me today? She was bragging about how you stayed up all night comforting her when her ex broke up with her. Do you think it's normal for her to be saying things like that to your wife? That's not the sort of thing that a friend says to a friend's spouse. I'm telling you, she really isn't as bad as she seems. Anyway, my friends are my problem. So can you stop this already? Okay? Are you really going to keep on taking her side? I'm not taking her side. I'm just telling you how things are. You're being a little childish right now. I find it a little funny that we're fighting because of Chelsea right now, even though she's none the wiser. You can do whatever you like. See if I care. I'll butt out of whatever it is that's going on between you and that girl. Just like you told me to.
Why did you drink so much already? Didn't I tell you to wait until I got here? Anyway, what's the problem? Why did you call me out tonight?
My wife said that she ran into you on the street not that long ago. What on earth did you say to her to make her so mad?
What? Did the two of you fight because of me? That's so funny.
She told me not to hang out with you all of a sudden and even went as far as to say that she suspected something was going on between the two of us.
She was the one who provoked me first. And anyway, who does she think she is to tell us not to hang out anymore? I don't think anyone would blame me for lashing out at her when she thought she had the authority to insert herself in our friendship.
You really need to fix that personality of yours. If I get divorced because of you, I'm never going to hang out with you ever again.
If you get divorced over something silly like this, then your wife obviously doesn't really love you that much.
Anyway, next time you see my wife on the street, don't say anything to her, okay? Act like you haven't noticed her or something.
I'm a little disappointed in you, to be honest. Do you really put your relationship with your wife above your relationship with your friends? I'm really sad that our friendship doesn't mean more to you than this.
I'm saying this because I don't want you to cross any more lines with my wife. If our relationship gets affected because of this, how do you expect me to carry on seeing you and acting like everything is okay?
Is your wife really going to stop us from seeing each other? Your wife really is something, you know. Even if you are a married couple, surely you still need to respect each other's right to have a social life. Does she think that you're her possession or something? Don't let her control your whole life.
I'm just saying that things will be much easier if you don't go around making her misunderstand things. We're not in our 20s anymore and we're not students anymore. If you get married too, you'll understand how I'm feeling right now.
What exactly did your wife say about me? You said you fought because of me. I kind of want to hear about it.
Are you really proud of yourself for being the cause of a married couple's fight? And anyway, what we said to each other is between me and my wife. I'm not obligated to tell you anything.
I have the right to hear about it when I was the whole reason for the fight happening in the first place.
Why do you have to be so annoying? Okay, fine. I told her that you and I really are nothing more than friends and that you really aren't the kind of girl who goes around bragging about having a bunch of married men as friends.
You really took my side?
Well, I had no choice but to defend you when you weren't there to defend yourself, didn't I? Anyway, did you know how much of a headache you've caused me over this?
By the way, did you tell your wife that you were meeting up with me to have a drink tonight?
Of course I didn't tell her. How could I possibly tell her when she made a big fuss about what you said to her on the street?
It seemed like she was really upset at the idea of you not telling her about your social life. Are you really okay with keeping things from her?
I think it's better this way. And if you hadn't gone and opened your mouth, she wouldn't know anything. So please, don't go running your mouth off in front of my wife again, okay? If she carries on feeling uncomfortable about this, I won't be able to meet up with any friends anymore.
Okay, I understand. But it seems like you like me more than you like your wife, you know. You kept our meeting a secret, and you're even the one who reached out to me first.
I just called you here today to clear the air because you put me in an awkward situation. There's nothing else to it. Don't go looking for any hidden meanings behind me asking you to meet today, because there aren't any. I'm just annoyed that my wife and I argued because of you, and I want to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Hurry up and finish your drink. You caused this mess, so you can pay for the drinks today.
But you earn way more than I do. I think you only called me out here today because you wanted to have a drink and have somebody else pay for it. However, my ego just got a massive boost and I'm in a great mood right now. So I'll let you off and I'll graciously pay for these drinks. I suppose it's the least I can do after causing so much discord between you and your wife.
Are you that happy about being the subject of our fight?
If it was any other couple fighting because of me, I'd feel weird and awkward about it. But because it's you, it makes me a little happy. If you do ever get divorced, make sure I'm the first person you tell, okay?
I am not going to be getting divorced, so you better stop dreaming, okay? I'm going to drink until I get drunk today. So you can't drink too much because I'll need you to take me home.
You're going home? Aw, that's a shame. It's the first time the two of us have hung out in a while, and I was hoping that we could stay out all night together.
I can't stay out all night. I told my wife that I was going for drinks with my coworkers, and they would never stay out that late. I don't want to do anything else that will make her suspicious of me.
Then why did you get married to such a paranoid woman? Why don't you just live with me instead?
I don't want to live with you. Can you really not get it into your head that I am married? I'll just end up broke if I live with you. Anyway, your lifestyle is far too lavish.
Oh, whatever. I don't need a guy like you anyway. I hope you live happily ever after with your little wife forever and ever and ever.
Claudia, it's been ages. I think I haven't seen you once since your wedding day, and that was already 5 months ago.
I'm so sorry. Since getting married, I've had so much stuff to do, and I barely had time to keep in touch with friends.
Oh, that's fine. I completely understand that you must be busy. By the way, did you not bring Mitchell with you? I thought maybe you two would be a package deal now that you're married.
Why on earth would I bring him to meet my friends? He's got his own things to do, so he wouldn't have been free to come today anyway.
Oh, really? That's a shame. I wasn't feeling too well on your wedding day, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him much.
Yeah, I felt really bad that you had to sit out for most of the reception. I've been wanting to make time to meet you for so long now, but there just hasn't been a chance.
It's okay. Like I said, I completely understand. By the way, how is married life going? Are you still in the honeymoon phase? Or have you had any trouble in paradise already?
Well, the truth is, something happened that really bothered me.
Oh, really? Is it money problems by any chance? Don't tell me that Mitchell is up to his neck in debt or something like that.
Whoa, calm down. I feel like your reaction was a little over the top there. I suppose you did say that you're having trouble with debt at the moment, didn't you? Were you able to pay any of it back yet?
Well, to be honest, not really. I actually ended up taking out another loan.
What? Why on earth did you do that? Didn't you say you were on track to pay the first one off in no time?
Well, I ended up using up quite a lot of money going on dates.
How expensive are the places you've been going to?
This is crazy! Don't you think you're pushing it a little? It's fine. My new boyfriend earns quite a lot of money. If we get married in the future, I'm sure he will be able to pay my debts back for me. Oh, really? So I'm guessing that he still doesn't know that you're in debt, huh? Of course not. You shouldn't show your hand and reveal your financial situation too early. It's better to keep everything under wraps until you're safely married and have had a baby. Then he'll truly be trapped in the situation. You really shouldn't do that, you know. I feel so sorry for the poor guy. I'll deal with my business, so you just worry about your own relationship, okay? You said there was something bothering you. If it's not money, then what is it? It's just that there's a queen bee type in my husband's friend group from college who has been getting on my nerves recently. A queen bee type? So she thinks she's the center of the world and likes to surround herself with guys, essentially? Yep, that's exactly what she's like. So I ran into her on the street not too long ago, and she started saying that she knows my husband better than I do, and she said that their long-standing friendship was more important to him than his relationship and all sorts of other disrespectful things. What? How dare she? What else did she say to you? You don't think the two of them are really having an affair, do you? To be honest, I'm not really sure. I appreciate that you're upset on my behalf, but honestly, there's no need to get this irate about it. It's just that we're such good friends that I feel like your suffering is my suffering. Thinking about how rude that girl must have been to you really got me all fired up. But what do you mean you don't know whether they're having an affair or not? If they are you just going to let it slide? Apparently, they used to hang out just the two of them all the time, and they've even spent the whole night together before. And she said all of that to you? Who does she think she is? And then what happened? I hope you didn't let her get away with disrespecting you like that. I told my husband about what happened, and I was really disappointed with his reaction. Surely he didn't take her side, did he? Yep, he did. He said that I shouldn't speak badly about his friends, and that she's just immature and doesn't really have bad intentions. Is he crazy? He really didn't seem like the sort of guy who would take that kind of stance to me. How could he go and take her side in that situation? He said that they really are just friends and that there's nothing more going on. So am I being too overly sensitive about this? No, I think you're right to be bothered by this. It does seem like there's something fishy going on. If they really were just friends, she wouldn't be asking him to come and drink with her, knowing full well that he's married. She knew that she was playing with fire and still chose to act like this. I'm hoping that he isn't going to meet her again after we fought over this and everything. You don't think he will, do you? This girl really doesn't know how to act her age. Apparently, she makes a habit of hanging around with married men and asking them to go drinking with her. When I told her how I felt about that, she told me I was old-fashioned. This is terrible. I can't believe he's already causing problems for you so early on in your marriage, especially after I warned him to treat you well at the wedding. If he's already got wandering eyes, this really doesn't bode well for the future, does it? My husband says that he has dinner and drinks with his coworkers today, but now I'm starting to worry that may have been a lie. After what you said just now, I think there's a good chance that it could be. So, what are you going to do about it? About what? About your husband and this girl. Are you just going to let it slide? If you just leave it like this, there's huge potential for things to escalate in the future. Like what? Well, if he's going out at night, meeting women and drinking, what do you think is going to happen? You better call him right now just in case he's doing something he shouldn't be. Ask him where he is and what he's doing. After that conversation, I did as my friend said and I called my husband right away. As expected, he didn't pick up. My uneasiness got the better of me and I immediately went out trying to find him. It was pretty easy to find him just by checking that girl's social media. She had posted a picture of her with a group of friends, including my husband, with a location tag, so my friend and I decided to move to the bar they were in. After watching what they were like with each other, my friend agreed that it looked as if something suspicious was going on between them. Watching them laugh with each other did nothing to calm my nerves, and I ended up getting so mad that I just had to leave. Since that day, I decided to distance myself from my husband. He was completely clueless about the reason why and was puzzled that he just found himself being pushed away. And then my mother-in-law came and started bothering me about getting pregnant, asking me when I was going to give her a grandchild. which just made me more stressed than I already was. Hey! Why is it so hard to get hold of you these days? I'm so sorry. It's just that I've got a lot on my mind recently. What could you possibly have on your mind? All you do is go to work and then come home and don't do anything around the house. Excuse me? You heard me. Mitchell told me that you keep using work as an excuse to not even as much as make dinner for your husband. And at the weekend, you just lie in bed and won't get up until he leaves to go for his morning run. There she goes again, picking a fight with me for absolutely no reason. Does she not get tired of this? Also, are you two planning on trying for a baby anytime soon? I've been waiting and I'm starting to get really frustrated. Nancy, please. We talked about this already. Please don't start bothering me about this again. I just want to be given a rough timeline. How much longer am I going to be made to wait? I really don't think I'm asking too much of you here. Is it really that bad for a mother-in-law to ask her daughter-in-law to hurry up and give her a grandchild? I've told you already that this isn't the right time. I need time to prepare myself. I don't know what you need to prepare. You just give birth to the child and then you raise it. It's as simple as that. There's no need to start worrying about trivial things, is there? Times have changed since you had your children, Nancy. I don't want to have and raise a child just because you asked me to. I know the waiting is frustrating for you, but I'm not in the right headspace to become a mother right now. I'll have a baby when I've decided that I want to have a baby. And when exactly do you think that might be? I'm sick and tired of waiting around to become a grandmother. I really didn't want to bring this up, but you leave me no choice. Do you know how much debt Mitchell is in right now? Everybody is in debt these days. It's no big deal. You both took out a loan to buy your house anyway. That's not a good enough reason for postponing having kids in my book. Yes, you're right. We did take out a loan to buy our house. But don't forget that on top of that, he also bought himself an expensive foreign car before we got married, and wasn't able to pay as much towards the wedding and hasn't been able to pay off as much of the loan as I have, even though we agreed to go 50-50 on everything. And then he got into a minor accident recently. Do you have any idea how much it costs to repair the car? We are not currently in the right financial situation to be raising a child, so we're not going to be having one just because you want us to. Are you willing to cover the cost of childcare then? If you promise to raise the child and support them financially, then I'll give you a grandchild right now. What did you just say? Are you threatening your own mother-in-law right now? I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you the reality of how things are. You don't seem to realize that in reality, things don't always go the way you want them to. I'm already going through a hard time because of your son right now, and I really don't need you pestering me about having a child on top of everything else. Well, then can you at least tell me roughly when you're planning on trying for a baby? Then I can at least have a vague time period to look forward to. All this waiting is not good for my constitution at my age, you know. Well, I would say you're going to have to wait at least 2 years. 2 years?! To be honest, I don't even know if Mitchell's debt will be paid off by then. But I know for sure that I definitely don't want to start trying within the next year. I want to keep working for a little longer as well. I think 2 years is a little too long. Can't you start trying in a year? I'm not getting any younger, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around. Even 1 year is a long time at my age. To be honest, Nancy, I really am in no hurry to have a baby. I'd rather work harder and save money whilst I'm still young and then have a baby when I'm in a more stable financial situation. That way, I think both me and the baby will have a happier life. Okay, fine. If that's what you really want. I don't know why you have to be so stubborn. So I have to wait 2 years then? Yes, that's right. At least 2 years. I have absolutely zero intention of trying for a baby before then. So will you please promise me that you won't keep bringing up this whole baby thing whenever you see me? Okay, I promise. Well, I'd best get going, so I'll hang up now. Well, if she really does keep her promise and doesn't bring it up for 2 years, that's one less thing for me to worry about. But I don't know why she's so desperate for a grandchild when she's not even planning to help out. But anyway, I'm relieved to be finally getting some peace and quiet. Hi, Mitchell. Is Claudia busy these days? I can't seem to be able to get a hold of her. Well, at the weekend, she's never at home, and to be honest, even I don't know what she's up to these days. What? You don't think she's gone and found herself another man, has she? She told me to wait 2 years, and I waited. She'd better not have broken our promise. What promise are you talking about? Well, 2 years ago, that wife of yours promised me that you would start trying for a baby around now. But now I'm starting to think that she may have just said that to try and pacify me. I think she's realized that 2 years is up, but she still doesn't want to have a baby, which is why she's ignoring all of my calls. I suppose not being in the house at the weekend is another one of her ways of avoiding me. Do you want to have a grandchild at any cost, or do you want my wife and I to have a child together? What do you mean by that? Well, the truth is that I've been seeing someone else behind my wife's back. You have? Who is she? I can't tell you right now, but I'll introduce her to you later. Anyway, I've really started to feel as if my wife doesn't actually like being around me anymore, so I don't really have any feelings left for her since she doesn't give me any attention. Well, that's given me a great idea. I don't care whether your wife is the mother of my grandchildren or not. I just want to have a grandchild as soon as possible. So we don't really need to involve your wife if we have an alternative, do we? Mom, don't you think that's a little risky? Well, to be honest, I don't really care if it would be taking a risk. She's the one who went and broke her promise. She obviously thought that this was something that could be taken lightly. So what's your plan then, Mom? Well, tell me your girlfriend's number and I'll take care of things from there. Hi there, I'm Beth, a friend of Claudia's. Oh, well, this is unexpected. I had no idea you were friends with Claudia. I heard that you wanted to see me about something. What is it that you wanted to talk to me about? I just wanted to ask exactly how involved you are with my son. Have you thought about perhaps marrying him? Excuse me? Why would I get married? To him or to anyone else? Our relationship isn't that deep. I'm not interested in getting married. Oh, really? That's a shame. I've been a little disappointed in my daughter-in-law recently, to tell the truth, and I was really happy when my son told me that he was seeing someone else. What's the problem with Claudia? She can't get pregnant. It seems like she's most likely infertile. My late husband's greatest wish was to get to see his grandchildren, but unfortunately he passed away before he had the chance. And that's why I called you here today. There's something I wanted to ask you. Go ahead. Would you be willing to have a baby with my son? I'll make sure you're well compensated. What did you just ask me? No, of course I won't do that. I thought you would refuse like this at first. But nothing is ever fun if it's too easy from the get-go. It seems like you don't fully understand the situation here, Beth. You see, you're not really in a position to refuse, are you? Well, I have no intention of marrying Mitchell. And I certainly don't want to have a baby with a guy like him. Are you out of your mind? You're close friends with my daughter-in-law, aren't you? I'm recording this whole conversation right now. I'm sure you don't want her to find out the truth about your relationship with her husband. Do you? Are you threatening me right now? You're crazy! Oh, I'm not threatening you, dear. I'm just giving you a choice. Will you choose to come clean to your friend, or will you choose the money and do as I ask? It's completely up to you. I think I've said everything I need to say. I'd like to hear your answer by tomorrow. Why did you ask me to meet up? We're not friends, so why would you want to have a coffee with me?
Claudia, I am well aware of the fact that you hate me. But I'm not the one you should be hating. The person you should be directing all that hate towards is your friend, Beth.
Oh, so now you want to use my friends to try and come between me and my husband, do you? How low are you willing to go?
I'm also annoyed that I've had my friend taken away from me, okay? Do you have any idea what kind of relationship your friend has with your husband?
I don't know what you're talking about, but they've never met except for a few minutes at my wedding. This really is far-fetched. You're doing this because you like my husband, aren't you? The two of you are more than just friends, aren't you?
I told you already that there's nothing going on between me and your husband. But there is something going on with him and your friend, Beth.
Beth would never do something like that to me.
Well, take a look at this photo of them together. The two of them meet up every weekend and go on romantic little dates. A friend of mine runs a bar, and I went to see him at work last weekend, and I saw Mitchell there being all lovey-dovey with your friend. There's cold, hard evidence here.
This can't be true. Is my husband really having an affair with Beth? When did they get this close? I thought they barely even knew each other. Are you sure that this photo is real? I don't completely trust that it isn't fabricated.
Even if I am an immature little girl who likes to hang around with married men, I know where the line is and I would never cross it. So I can assure you that I'm not having any kind of relationship with your husband. So, what are you going to do now? Are you just going to sit by and let the two of them get away with this? You shouldn't sit around and let them get comfortable, because you don't know how far they could be willing to take this. You should start plotting to get your revenge against them.
My revenge?
Well, of course you should get revenge on them. You don't want to be the one left in the dust looking like a fool, do you? You need to make sure they have a harsh reality check and ruin them so they can't recover from this.
But Chelsea, why are you telling me all of this? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I never really got the impression that you liked me that much. You made it clear that you just saw me as someone who was stealing your friend away from you. I don't think it's completely unreasonable of me to think that you fabricated this photo in order to make me break up with Mitchell. How do you expect me to believe you?
Shall I show you the CCTV footage from my friend's bar then? I understand that you might not believe me, so I'm willing to take you to see the cold, hard evidence. I know what I saw, but it's obviously up to you whether you choose to believe me or not.
I'm sorry, but I just can't take your word for it. I'm going to have to go and look at the footage for myself. Where's your friend's bar?
Follow me. I'll take you there now.
So I ended up following my husband's friend to her friend's bar, and we checked the CCTV together. I was shocked to discover that what she had said about my friend and my husband was indeed true. I was truly disgusted by what I saw. Their relationship seemed to be much deeper than I had imagined, and they were openly touching each other in public. Whenever my husband came up in conversation with my friend, she always acted as if they didn't have much to do with each other, and the fact that she was acting this whole time sends a shiver up my spine. I was so angry when I saw the footage of them together that I could barely hold myself together. I definitely had no intention of forgiving them for betraying me like that, and I started to wonder how and when this whole affair had started. So my husband's friend and I decided to look into their relationship. Just when I thought that I couldn't be any more shocked, I ended up getting completely blindsided. What's the occasion? You always ignore my attempts to contact you, so I'm quite surprised that you've come to see me all of a sudden. I see that you think we can only do things on your terms, huh? I'm here today because I have something to discuss with you, Nancy. Have you finally decided that you wanted to start trying for a baby? No, I've decided that I won't be giving you the grandchild you want so badly after all. Oh, well, never mind. I've realized that I don't really need you anymore. By any chance, are you also in the know? What are you talking about? I think you know that your son has been cheating on me with another woman, don't you? Oh my goodness. How did you find out about that? Has that stupid boy gone and got himself caught? I hope she hasn't come here to say that she's going to file for divorce. Well, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I guess you didn't know, huh? Well, your son has really crossed a line. It turns out he's been having an affair with my best friend. So that's why I don't think I'm going to be able to give you a grandchild. I thought it would be best for me to come and tell you this face to face. Can you take responsibility for all of these things you're saying? How would my son even have time to cheat on you when he's always at work or at the gym or something? I guess she doesn't know about my plan to make sure Beth gets pregnant. No matter what, I need to make sure that she doesn't find out about that. If she knows about that, there's no way she wouldn't file for divorce, and my son staying married to her gives him a financial advantage, so I really would like them to stay together if possible. Well, I also thought he wouldn't have time to do something like that, but he seems to have found the time somewhere. I have no idea how they started this affair, but I do have photos of them together. I can send you the photos if you'd like. Oh, there's no need for that. Lots of married men end up cheating on their wives every now and again. It really isn't a big deal. I don't know why you think it warrants you coming over here and making a fuss. Nancy, what are you saying? This is a big deal. This is more than enough grounds for divorce. How can you make out that a married man seeing another woman is nothing? Well, most young men these days all cheat on their wives. Everybody just puts up with it and gets on with their lives. So you should stop making a fuss and reflect on the fact that you should have been more attentive to your husband and kept him in line so that he wouldn't stray and do something like this. And besides, how can you tell that they're having an affair just by looking at one photo? They might just be good friends for all you know. Now stop wasting your time and mine with this and use it to make your husband a nice meal or something instead. I'm not just going to stand by and listen to you talk to me like this, you know? I'm not going to just keep quiet and carry on living with a husband who cheats on me with my best friend. I know he's your son and you think the sun shines out of his backside, but you have to understand that what he's done to me is objectively very wrong. I'm going to divorce him, and that's that. Be careful what you say. You can't just throw the word divorce around so casually like that. If you divorce my son over something trivial like this, things aren't going to end well for you at all. But why should I have to put up with living with a cheating husband? I'm not interested in giving the time of day to a man who likes another woman more than he likes me. We don't have any kids or anything, so getting divorced should be pretty painless anyway. I really do think you're being a little premature wanting to get divorced over this. I understand that what my son did was wrong, and I'm very ashamed of him. I can barely look at you, I'm so embarrassed. I'll apologize on his behalf 100, no, 1,000 times if I have to. He's just a little stupid, you see. He's too nice and he doesn't know when to stop being nice to people. So obviously the other woman saw that as flirting and made a move on him. Anyway, I'm sure that you have it in you to forgive him. What do you say? There's something a little fishy about the way she's acting. I don't really believe that she didn't know anything about the affair, to be honest. But no matter what she says, I'm not going to cave in and let this whole thing slide. If you really don't want me to divorce your son, there is something that you can do for me. Would you be willing to sign this document on Mitchell's behalf? Then I might consider not divorcing him for now. It looks like dealing with her isn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped. I need to do everything I can to stop this divorce from happening. I need to fill my son in on the situation at the next chance I get. Fine, I'll do whatever you want. Just please don't bring up divorcing my son ever again. I want you to sign this document saying that you will give me this house if my husband does anything else to jeopardize our marriage. Excuse me? What did you just say? What's wrong? Do you not have confidence in your son? Did you know about his affair this whole time and you're just pretending that you just found out? It really does seem like you're up to something fishy behind my back, and I'm not going to fall for your facade so easily. If you really don't want to sign this document, I'm going to file for divorce right now. I'm not up to anything behind anyone's back. I really didn't know anything about this. Fine, I'll sign the document for you. I'll sign it for now, but I'll make sure my son gets his hands on it and destroys it somehow. All signed. Are you happy now? Will you stop threatening divorce now? Yes, I won't bring divorce up anymore. Thank you for cooperating with me. Well, I better get going now. I need to have a conversation with my husband. Okay, I'll see you soon. Mitchell! Where are you right now? I'm at Beth's house. What's the matter? Claudia just came to my house to talk to me. She said she wanted to divorce you, and I just about managed to stop her. What? So you're saying she found out about the affair? She doesn't seem to know anything about our plan yet, but she does know that you're cheating on her with her friend. You need to be more careful. By the way, have you two had any baby news yet? Well, we've been trying, but we haven't had any luck yet. We went for a checkup at the hospital, and they said that neither of us have any fertility issues, and we just need to keep trying. So I don't really know what the problem is. You need to focus on making sure Beth gets pregnant as soon as possible. Don't worry about Claudia for now. I'll make sure to deal with her. Anyway, you really do need to be more careful. I even put my house on the line to make sure that she wouldn't divorce you. You did what? Oh, by the way, when you get home, make sure you go into Claudia's bag and look for a legal document she should have in there. Once you find it, make sure you burn it or shred it to pieces or something. I need to make sure that it gets destroyed without a trace. Mom, did you even sign a legal document just to stop her from filing for divorce? Thank you so much, Mom. I really will try my best to make sure you get that grandchild you've been wanting so badly. You know that we're pretty pressed for time here, right? Claudia might do some kind of investigation and find out about the baby plans, so you need to start getting better at covering your tracks. Don't take your own car when you're going to meet Beth. You should take a taxi or public transport instead. Claudia had a really determined look in her eyes, and I think that she could ruin you if you're not careful. Don't worry, Mom. We're planning on doing another test today, so I'm hoping it will be possible. Well, if she is pregnant, you better tell me straight away. Oh, and don't forget to get rid of the document as soon as you can. As long as we get rid of that, Claudia doesn't have any kind of hold over us anymore. I have a good feeling about today. I really do think that we're finally going to have some good news. Amazing! I can't wait to hear it. I'll be here waiting for your call. What are you doing in my house? And why do you have all those bags with you? Oh, did Mitchell not tell you? You knew everything about my relationship with Mitchell anyway, didn't you? So I don't know why you're acting so surprised. Yes, I do know about your relationship with my husband. But what does that have to do with you suddenly showing up at my house with all this luggage? I'm pregnant with Mitchell's child. What? If you don't believe me, look at this. It's official proof issued from the hospital. Since I'm pregnant now, we thought it would be best for me to move in here. I guess he hasn't said anything to you about this yet, huh? Are you really carrying my husband's child? Does my mother-in-law know about this by any chance? You really don't know anything, do you? She came to find me and even lied about you being infertile to get me to have a baby with her son. This whole thing was her idea. She practically begged me. She's even paying me, so I figured that I didn't really have much to lose. So anyway, this has all been decided already. And you know that being a housewife has always been my dream anyway, so this suits me quite well. Your husband has a good job as well, so he can easily support me. This wouldn't have happened to you if you had just agreed to start trying for a baby when your mother-in-law first asked you. What a shame for you. Are you sure it's my husband's baby? You normally see lots of different guys at the same time, so I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. I know you just want to believe it's not true, but it's 100% Mitchell's baby. When I started dating him, I ended it with all the other guys I was seeing, so there's no chance it could be anyone else's. So you've come to live here, have you? Even though you knew that I would be here. Even though you knew that he was my husband, you still went there. What do you mean we can't live together? We've already seen everything there is to see between us. It looks like your husband prefers me, his mistress, over you, his wife. Especially after seeing that he didn't even tell you about this arrangement. Don't do anything you might regret later and just get out whilst I'm asking you nicely. I might think about forgiving you if you agree to leave now. Who do you think you are to decide whether you can forgive me or not? I know that Mitchell wants the three of us to live here together, but I have absolutely no intention of doing that. I'll have you driven out of here in no time. You're the one who's going to be leaving this house, not me. How long has this actually been going on for? When did you two start seeing each other? Is that really important right now? But if you really want to know that badly, I'll tell you. I had never met him before your wedding because you had kept him under wraps. And when I saw him on your wedding day, it was love at first sight. I just knew that we were fated to be together. Your husband said he fell for me at first sight as well. He's actually the one who reached out to me first. So basically, we've been having an affair for your entire marriage. I honestly don't even know how you two ended up together in the first place. Whenever he met up with me, he would always badmouth you. You should have maybe thought about being a better wife. Then maybe things wouldn't have gotten this far. You clearly weren't doing anything to appeal yourself to him, and that's why he so easily fell into the arms of another woman. Well, whatever. You can take that piece of trash man I call a husband and you can have him. You must not know, but this is my house, It's registered in my name. Did he not tell you about that? Wait, what? He had just bought himself an expensive imported car around the time we got married, so all the money that went into this house was mine, and the loan we took out to pay off the remaining costs were also taken out in my name. I wasn't sure what would happen in the future, given that he had just made quite a big poor financial decision, so I thought it would be best to put the house in my name, and now I'm so happy that I did that. But you were paying back the loan together, right? That means that Mitchell must have some kind of claim on this house, right? Do you want to know how much of the loan he has actually paid back? Barely a couple of hundreds. I'll give you that money back if you're that upset about it. So just hurry up and get lost already. Hey, I'm a pregnant woman. How could you just throw me out onto the street with all this luggage on such an unbearably cold winter's day? Fine, I guess I'll leave. I can just go to Mitchell's mom's house. Oh, to Nancy's house? Go on then. Try going there. See what good it does you. You see, that house is actually also my house. What are you saying? How on earth can that house be your house as well? I got Nancy to sign a legal document handing ownership of the house over to me. So I am now the legal owner of her property, and there's nothing she can do about it. Anyway, I should have a pretty good case to sue Mitchell for alimony since I had a fidelity clause added to our marriage agreement. But you're an unemployed bum and pregnant, so I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to afford to pay me all by himself. So at least now I have Nancy's house to fall back on. So what am I supposed to do now then? Are you telling me to have this child and raise it all by myself? Oh no, you can take the father with you. I certainly don't want him anymore. Now I'm going to live freely and for myself without having to worry about anyone else. Stop laughing! The one having the last laugh was supposed to be me. You must want to stand over me and gloat, but no matter what, I'm never going to get down on my knees and beg you for anything. I'm still the winner in this situation because I'm the one who gets to have your husband by my side. Hi, Nancy. So good to see you. What are you doing here? Beth should have arrived at your house already. How could you just leave her there on her own? Pregnant women need constant looking after, you know. That's why I sent her to your house, so that she would have another woman to help look after her. So you're admitting that you did know everything all along, huh? Okay, fine. So I knew since the day you came here to see me before. Okay, actually, the truth is that I knew way before that. But what does it matter now? Stop wasting my time and go and tend to Beth. You wouldn't have my son's child, so I had to take matters into my own hands. And I just so happened to find out about Beth at the right time. You really have no shame, do you? What makes you think that I'm just going to go along with playing this part that you've devised for me? By any chance, did you really think that your son actually destroyed the document saying that you would legally transfer this house over to me? Well, unfortunately for you, I knew that you would try and pull something like that, and I left a fake copy of the document in my bag and kept the real one under lock and key. So the one that your son destroyed for you was actually the fake. What are you saying? This can't be! He told me that he'd made sure to burn it! Honestly, you handled things so poorly and made it too easy for me. Oh, and the house we bought together when we got married is actually also in my name, so you can take your son and his side piece and you can find a new house altogether. This house is all mine now, so you better start packing your bags. You really were so stupid to think that destroying that document would be the end to all your problems. Anyway, I'm going to meet with my lawyer straight after this and go ahead with suing your son for divorce. Instead of letting myself get dragged into this awful situation with the rest of you, I'm choosing to step aside gracefully on my own. I want no more part in this train wreck. Well, since things have already turned out this way, how about we all just try living together anyway? We're all still family at the end of the day. I'm in a really desperate situation here now, and my son hasn't really done anything wrong except do what I told him to do. You people are certainly not family to me, and I don't care how desperate you are, quite frankly. And I don't know if you know this, but Mitchell and Ben have been seeing each other ever since the start of our marriage, so their relationship isn't actually your fault, and he is very much the most guilty party here. I'm glad that I don't have to put up with babying a husband who doesn't know how to use his money properly. He's all yours now. But at least you can try and make Beth into the daughter-in-law you've always wanted since she's unemployed and ready to be a housewife. Hey! How can can you do this to us? If you divorce my son, how is he going to have the money to support Beth and their child? He's got way too much debt to worry about. Can't you just wait to divorce him when his debt is all paid off? Why on earth would I do that? Why would I put myself at a disadvantage for the sake of someone who has never once considered me and my feelings? From this day forward, I wash my hands of your family, and I don't owe any of you anything. I'll put up with anything you throw at me, just as long as you don't divorce him. I'm still going to divorce him, no matter what you have to say about it. You better go and start packing. You don't want to waste any time now, do you? Oh, and make sure to tell your son to get the alimony ready. I packed his stuff for him already since I don't want to have to see his face again. So I'll have it sent here later. Hey! Claudia! You can't do this! Claudia, please! What am I going to do now? Are you really going to steal our money and our houses and drive us out onto the street? Despite my mother-in-law's various protests, I went ahead and divorced my husband. The process ended up being incredibly long and dragged out, because neither my husband nor my mother-in-law were willing to accept the fact that they were being sued. But eventually, I did end up getting the alimony I was owed. I really wanted to cut all ties with those people as soon as possible, but I really did have to chase them in order to get the alimony, which I did eventually receive in one lump sum. It looks like taking their money from them is the worst punishment I could have possibly given them, so it was worth it to see them suffer. Shells, I'm all alone.
And? Why should I care?
Let's get married.
What are you saying?
There are no women in my life anymore, so I'll finally give you what you always wanted and marry you.
Excuse me? What did you just say? You and your mom are swimming in debt together, and you have the baby that you had with your side piece. How can you say that you're alone when you still have your family?
I was deceived by Beth. She left me with her dad and with the baby and ran off to be with someone else.
Oh my goodness, what a sob story.
Are you some kind of robot or something? Why are you so emotionless? Come on, Shells. You always liked me, didn't you? You always tried to interfere whenever I got a girlfriend, and now I'm saying I'm all yours. I was expecting you to be a little happier, to be honest. I'm saying that I'll marry you, that I'll be yours and nobody else's. Is that not what you've always wanted?
You really have left me speechless here. Even if I was into you before, do you really think I want you now? There's no way I'd be willing to raise someone else's child, pay someone else's debts back, and take responsibility for your mother. There's something wrong with you if you think anyone would be accepting of that situation. I don't even consider you as a friend anymore. I don't want to see your face ever again, and don't you dare even think about trying to contact me. And I know that you have hit rock bottom already, but this really does take the cake for being the worst proposal ever in the history of proposals. If you cared about me at all, you would at least have decided to leave the baby at home in order to propose to me.
Well, my mom says that it's hard for her to look after the baby because she's too old. She says it's not good for her constitution. Well, how about this then? If you don't want to marry me, would you at least consider watching the baby for me? Just for one day. I'm so tired I think I might collapse. Please just let me have one day's break.
Well, this is what happens when you go around messing with people's lives. You never think about the consequences of your actions, do you? I bet you never thought you'd end up all alone. A single father with not a penny to his name. I guess you've just got to accept your fate for the next 18 years until he grows up and flies the nest.
But by the time he's an adult and able to look after himself, my mom will be too old to look after herself.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, and you still asked me to marry you. That makes it even more obvious that you just want someone for free childcare and someone who can babysit your mom when she gets older. You really are despicable. You know that? Honestly, I wish I could throw this glass of water in your ugly face. But I feel bad for the baby, so I won't.
Chelsea, please. Please give me a chance.
What are you doing? Let go of me already!
Well, can you at least pay for my coffee then? I really don't have any money left at all.
You really are the lowest of the low. I'm ashamed to be breathing the same air as you right now.